March 17, 1943. The unbelievable report. The atmosphere in Admiral Wilhelm Canaris' office at Abwehr headquarters in Berlin on the morning of March 17, 1943, was one of crushing tension. Canaris, chief of German military intelligence, stared at the file on his mahogany desk. The report had been slapped down so hard moments earlier that coffee had splashed, staining the pages. "Impossible," Canaris muttered, his voice trembling. "The Americans are feeding us propaganda through turned agents." The report challenged not just Nazi propaganda, but the entire mathematical foundation of a German victory, according to intercepted communications and network reports from Mexico City. The Ford Motor Company's Willow Run plant was producing a B-24 Liberator heavy bomber every hour. The B-24, an 18-ton machine comprising 1.5 million individual parts, 450,000 rivets, and 30,000 separate components, was rolling off an assembly line faster than Germany could produce a simple military vehicle. Major Friedrich Wilhelm Heinz, standing at attention, had triple-checked the intelligence. The numbers remained unchanged. Neither man knew that this moment would trigger the most devastating intelligence failure in modern warfare. The systematic inability of German leadership to comprehend, believe, or communicate the true scale of American industrial capacity. The deadly contempt, the collapse of German intelligence acceptance, had begun 2 years prior. In 1941, Luftwaffe General Karl Kohler presented Hermann Göring with reports indicating U.S. aircraft production was approaching 2,000 planes per month. Göring had laughed, literally, declaring Americans could only build refrigerators and razor blades, not military aircraft. "The Americans are bluffing," Göring told Hitler. "Their democracy makes them weak. Their mongrel population makes them inefficient. Their Jews make them corrupt. They cannot possibly produce what they claim." By March 1943, however, German intelligence networks across the Americas reported something that defied every Nazi racial and economic assumption. Ford's Willow Run plant alone was producing more heavy bombers than all of Germany's aircraft factories combined. Captain Nicholas Ritter, head of Abwehr Air Intelligence and a former Lufthansa pilot who had lived in America, spent 3 weeks analyzing the data. Ritter understood U.S. industrial capacity better than most. "Herr Admiral Canaris," Ritter reported, "if these numbers are correct, and I believe they are, then Germany has already lost the war. It is now only a question of mathematics and time." The burned evidence, the most detailed information, arrived through perilous routes. A German agent in Mexico City overheard American oil executive Harold Morrison describing his Willow Run tour. Morrison spoke of the facility's staggering scale. "The assembly line is over a mile long. The building is so vast that clouds form inside it, and it sometimes rains within the factory. They have 42,000 workers, including thousands of women, Negro women, building the most complex machine ever created." Crucially, Morrison explained that Ford had broken the bomber down into 60,000 separate operations. A woman who yesterday was making breakfast for her children now installs hydraulic lines in the tail section. They trained them in days, not months. Independent verification came via Spain. Charles Sorensen, Ford's production chief, proudly told the Spanish military attaché that they were building bombers like we build cars, moving the aircraft past stationary workers. He revealed that women comprised 40% of the workforce and that they employed Negro workers operating sophisticated machinery. He concluded, "Democracy, means utilizing all available human resources." By April 1943, the German intelligence apparatus had comprehensive data from 17 independent sources, confirming the production rate, 650 B-24s monthly from Willow Run alone. Desperate for irrefutable proof, Canaris obtained 5 minutes of film footage showing the Willow Run assembly line in full operation, smuggled via Spanish diplomatic pouches. Canaris and his deputy, Hans Oster, watched the film in a locked room. A visible clock confirmed the timing. "My God, it is true," Oster whispered. Canaris lit the film with his cigarette lighter, watching it burn to ash. We cannot show this to them. They would accuse us of creating fake footage or of being traitors. The fateful confrontation on April 20th, 1943, Hitler's 54th birthday. Canaris personally presented the intelligence to Göring at Corinne Hall. He spread the photographs and reports across the vast oak table. Herr Reichs, Marshal Canaris, began carefully. We have confirmation from 17 independent sources. The Fort Willow Run plant is producing one B-24 Liberator every hour at peak production. Göring, massive and contemptuous, picked up a photograph. Canaris, he sneered. Do you take me for a fool? These are obviously wooden mock-ups, props for propaganda. This Willow Run plant probably produces 50 bombers monthly at most. When Canaris presented intercepted manifests showing the plant consumed 16 million pounds of aluminum monthly, more than Germany's entire monthly production, Göring laughed harshly. Then, where did they get this aluminum? From their Negro workers, from their women riveters. You've been deceived by American propaganda. A week later, Canaris briefed Hitler personally. Mein Führer, if the Americans are producing 1,400 B-24s monthly, plus B-17s and their fighter aircraft, the aerial bombardment of the Reich will soon exceed our defensive capabilities. Hitler's response was predictable. Admiral, the Americans are capable of mass production of simple goods, but a bomber is not a car. It requires precision, skill, dedication. Building this miraculous factory and achieving this production in such time is impossible. The cost of disbelief reality, however, could not be ignored forever. Albert Speer, Hitler's armaments minister, secretly obtained the American intelligence. His diary entry from May 1943 revealed his despair. If the Willow Run figures are even half accurate, we face not defeat, but annihilation. They produce more aircraft in a month than we do in a year. But to speak this truth would be my death warrant. By April 1944, Willow Run achieved its peak rate, one B-24 every 63 minutes. Its workforce of 42,331 included 11,000 women, 26%, and 3,800 African Americans, 9%. This demographic breakdown would have shattered Nazi racial ideology completely. The inferior races and weaker sex were outproducing the German master race by orders of magnitude. On June 6, 1944, over 11,000 Allied aircraft appeared over France for D-Day. The Luftwaffe could muster fewer than 300 fighters. Field Marshal Hugo Sparrow messaged Berlin, "The enemy's aerial superiority is absolute. Our intelligence was correct. We were deceived not by the Americans, but by ourselves." The final report, the failure to believe this intelligence, had catastrophic consequences, delaying peace overtures and costing millions of lives. Canaris and Hans Oster, the prophets of this truth, were executed for treason in April 1945. In the ruins of Berlin in May 1945, American intelligence officers discovered a final German report on Willow Run, dated April 20th, 1945, Hitler's last birthday. Willow Run production confirmed. We reported this truth 2 years ago. We were not believed. Germany dies not from lack of intelligence, but from lack of wisdom to believe intelligence that contradicts what we wish to be true. Let future generations learn reality does not bend to ideology. Mathematics does not yield to mythology. Truth ignored becomes tragedy. The verdict of history is clear. German intelligence collection was excellent. German intelligence acceptance was catastrophic. The Third Reich was destroyed by disbelief, proving that democracy works, diversity strengthens, and freedom produces.